Kalvin is where?
I'll probably be right next to you on your right side. Yeah. Look at this family stuff.
First podcast from the cream couch.
From the cream.
This is casting couch.
Alright. Oh wait, you're starting.
We're live.
Okay. We're live. There we are. We actually haven't. Wait, we did do a podcast.
We've only had him in one podcast.
Yeah.
Why do you call it podcast if this is a video?
Well,
Because we're casting it.
we're casting a video podcast.
It's a video cast.
All right.
I don't know.
So, I think this is the biggest podcast we've done. 4 people. 4 people. So we have Evan from Throtl. We have Kalvin from Kalvin's Garage, obviously. And we're going to be talking about business and I guess just stuff that we've gone through and that they've gone through to get where everyone is today. So,
Kind of got. I feel like almost got like 3 levels here. We got beginners, intermediate, top end.
I don't think so. I'm a beginner.
I think we're all in the beginner stage
we're all
here.
beginners.
Let's together, man.
Do you want to give like a little history of like how you guys started Throtl and where it's gone?
Okay, so maybe we'll kind of just start off with what is Throtl. So Throtl is an online marketplace for car enthusiasts to buy and sell used performance parts, cars, or whatever. At least that's how it started. And what it's kind of turned into is more or less like the one-stop shop for car enthusiasts. So we now sell new parts. People can go there and create their own online shop, essentially, list all their parts for sale there. And then we're also starting to get really into the content creation, media creation type stuff, a lot of collaboration projects and stuff like that. So that's what Throtl is. I started Throtl with 2 other people, my older brother Rick and one of my best friends from Rochester as well, Errol Erturk, about 3 years ago, less than 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago.
Has it really been only that long? It seems so much longer.
Yeah, so started about 2.5 years ago. The original name was actually Rev Match. And we found out about 4 or 5 months later that someone that already existed. So we had to change the name and we came up with Throtl, and it's been Throtl ever since, and it's been a roller coaster for sure, but a lot of fun, a lot of tough times, a lot of fun. But
if you could go back and change something from the start, what would you change?
That's a good question.
That's a tough question.
In hindsight, we made a lot of mistakes, but that's kind of how you learn to see what people are engaging with and what people are liking with. I think that if I were to do it all over again, we probably wouldn't have relied heavily just focused on the classifieds. We really would have kind of set out to be this automotive brand, which we are now. So since we kind of started making videos and started collaborating with people in the industry and going to SEMA and building our own shop cars on the internet and using the parts that we sell on our own cars and stuff like that, the moment we started really treating it as like we want to become this conglomeration that is Throtl, that's going to take over Injuku and ECS Tuning and eBay Motors. Like when we were like setting our sights, like we should have set them higher, because now I feel like we're becoming more recognizable as a brand and stuff like that. And I think that it's very important to set your sights high. Don't just focus on the one thing that you originally set out to do.
Because it'll mold itself as you go as well. So like even what you think it's going to be, like towards the end, it's not going to be that. It's going to be something else that
you're always
just
constantly changing and
I think that's very important to always be open-minded and evolve the business to what the customers demand. And that's kind of hard too sometimes because originally going into it, you kind of are like, this is what the problem is in the market and this is what I'm here to solve, when in reality may not be what the masses is feeling. It may just be what you're feeling. So it's like you got to be able to be creative and also be able to be flexible with what your mission is a little bit, as long as the end goal is still.
Maybe shooting at ourselves from your perspective. What I guess the same question.
Mine or
with you.
Okay.
So with what we started, what would be something that you would want us to change? And I guess I'll ask Kalvin after this as well.
I'd say for us, something we should have changed, like the way we started, just our first couple of videos, and change the way we did them. Like everything was our first video, we just went to AutoZone and picked up your brake rotors. We didn't install them. We just picked them up.
Yeah.
I think having more of
zone.
yeah, just a trip to AutoZone. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to see that. I don't care. I think if we had more of a goal in mind when we started and stuff, just hey, let's start filming stuff. Even though that's also where your creativity comes from. I think if we just kind of put more effort in and
To
just,
planning.
yeah, just made it more of an actual production from the start instead of just we're going to AutoZone and we'll catch the next video when we actually install these parts. You know,
Right, right.
Did
Change
you
it
ever
up.
install them?
Yeah, next video we install the
All
brakes.
right, well, that's good. At least you followed through, right? There's a lot of people I see that.
I guess same question for you, buddy. Like, I know you talk about this all the time that you wish you filmed the process of building this from the beginning.
Oh man, yeah.
And
That would have been awesome.
What would you change?
Honestly, I don't know if I have an answer for that because I just ever since I started, I've kind of been trying. My channel started out as like an in-car vlogs, talking on the camera about whatever, and now I don't do that at all.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, part of me thinks, you know, did I miss like an opportunity, or did I do the right decision in making, I guess, kind of a blind leap into the realm I am in now? Because I mean, there's so much competition. You know what I mean? Like, everyone's doing this. So I don't know. It's just, I don't know if I would change anything. I really love just the process of learning and just figuring out where you should be, what you should be doing. Because I mean, there's no given answer. Like, no one will have an answer. Even if you talk to someone and ask them, like, hey, what, they won't know. Like, only you know what you got to do, and it just takes time. So I would just, I don't know. I don't really have that many regrets. The only thing I kind of wish I did start from the beginning is have a partner that was in it as, you know, I hate to say it, but balls deep as I am, you know what I mean? Like, it's just true. Like, back then, no one wanted to work on cars, you know?
Yeah.
No one wanted to really wrench or pick up even a damn screwdriver, so I just kind of said, screw it, I'm going to do, you know, my own
And that's
thing.
kind of how we started working together. It was like, yo, I see you're by yourself at your house working all the time. We're like 5
That's
months
the hard
later.
part, man. It's just doing everything
When
on
did
your
you
own.
guys link up? Was that the day that we were at Log Cabin?
Pretty much like right after
Yeah,
that.
and then I think you guys either messaged me before that or after that sometime on Twitter, and then I messaged you guys back.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit before, then Evan came in town. And that's the first time we actually kind of hung out, was at Cabin. And then after that, I think we eventually came
And
over to your
now
house.
we basically live together. So, there you go.
now
So-
we rent an apartment.
Yeah. Basically.
I think, let's see, a good question. So for moving forward, how, at least for Kalvin, how would you think about branding yourself in just these next couple months of getting, I guess, yourself out there more? And I guess, what's your future plans to keep branding yourself and move forward with
I
that?
wish I had a really definitive answer for that, but I don't know, man. I really don't know. Like, I want to get to the point where people obviously bring me there, like, bill, like, hey, I want my car built. Oh, let's call up Kalvin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, I can't get there with, you know, cutting corners and like doing budget stuff. Like, I really gotta get into the realm of high-end builds, like kind of that kind of deal. But
Do you think you'd be into, at least just to support that lifestyle and choices? Are you gonna get into merch and stuff?
oh, of course, that's definitely that's one thing I really gotta kind of hop on for
Extra
sure. I've been
income.
slacking big time, but I kind of learned some stuff today, so
Oh, for sure.
be able to
Some
get
new
the
secrets
ball
coming out
rolling a
later.
little bit here. Yeah.
To throw a question, I guess, Evan's way.
Sure.
How important do you think it is to be like selling merch and just like other things to keep your name out there and
Maybe even
constantly in people's
advertisement as a
minds?
whole.
Yeah.
As a whole.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of like two different things. I think a little bit like, you know, selling T-shirts and stuff like that. I mean, 99% of people do not get rich off that. That's not why we have designs and stuff. That, you know, we don't make money on T-shirts really.
Yeah.
Truthfully, it's more so about getting the brand out there and getting you know, recognition for, you know, if Kalvin's building this sick car and he's wearing the Throtl shirt and he's at a show or something, someone may be like, oh, what is that? I want to go check it out.
So word of mouth.
Yeah, word of mouth, and you know, it's a good indication, I think, of how cool your brand is if people want to rep merch and stuff. But I will say that, and I get DMs like constantly about this, like, hey, I'm thinking about starting my own line of merch and jet tags, and where do you get this made and all that stuff. But if you don't have a following, it makes no sense to do. You will not sell anything, and you'll waste a lot of money. So for me, my biggest critique on just in general of the people that hit me up about merch and all that stuff is if you're not actively posting on social media, whether it's Snapchat, Instagram, YouTube, whatever, every single day, multiple times a day, then you shouldn't even think about it. So don't waste any effort on coming up with a logo and a website and doing all that stuff unless you're literally posting every day. And you don't have to have a brand. It can just be yourself,
Right.
at least to start. So
That's one place I'm slacking is the whole social media place. Like I'm not
It's
especially
huge.
here because I don't have service first of
Yeah,
all, so I'm not
yeah.
thinking
that's
about
something you should look into.
The thing that's rough about that is you could be taking pictures and video and
Oh
stuff
my
all
God.
day.
Yeah,
And then you
like-
have to wait till later when you get service. to
I have a
post it.
little bit of service over there.
Right, like
It's
that's why I
hard,
keep my
yeah.
phone over there, and that's the only place I'll get a bar of service. But
Yeah.
yeah, just like keeping up to date on Snapchat. I've been getting constant messages
You
every
like
day.
Snapchat?
No, like I just don't use it at all. And everyone asks me like, you should use Snapchat, and I hear from everyone too, like content creators and just business people in general, like Snapchat. Use Snapchat because that's just.
I feel
the
like
thing
it's more
nowadays.
personal. Like when you post on there, it's like even a smaller group of people
Yeah.
that will actually care about your stuff. Because like most of the time people use Snapchat to talk to other people, or not just advertise things or like say, hey, there's a new video out or something like that. I mean, people do, but I feel like Instagram is more broad. Everyone can see your stuff. Snapchat's like,
More private.
yeah, it's like you have to request someone's follower. You have to go find them specifically.
Yeah.
Rather than just Instagram, you're scrolling through and you're like, oh, I found this cool little thing right here. Let me go check it out. So
I feel like also with
people-
Snapchat, it's not as like you said, it's more personal. Where Instagram, you can have businesses on there, but I feel like not as many businesses would have a Snapchat because it's more one person
Yeah.
doing all that. So,
Yeah.
and you said like smaller groups of
Yeah.
people you can interact with more one-on-one.
yeah. Maybe we'll switch it over to more car stuff. What would you say is like one of your favorite cars that would be, I guess, affordable to? I can't really say everyone, but
A good what? Like not
like
like
a good
first
like a
car
good
thing,
base car that you could start off with.
but an
that-
easy build car.
Yeah.
Obviously, and I think we might have talked about this too, is it all depends on what you're trying to accomplish with your car, and that's what it goes back to.
Yeah.
It's like, is this your daily driver? Do you live in upstate New York? Do you live in California?
Yes.
So that all depends. All those different factors will, in my opinion, kind of shape what is the best car for you.
Right.
Starting out, first car ever, stay with what most people get for their first car. Hondas, Acuras, cheaper type cars where the parts are cheap and, they're easily modified, and also there's a lot of aftermarket support for them. But yeah, I mean, if you're on the West Coast, you don't need front wheel drive, so you could go with the 240 or an E36 or something like that. I would probably stay away from a BMW if it's your first car, because there's just a lot of little things. And I mean, me personally, I don't spend a lot of money on the maintenance type stuff, especially because I can get parts for very cheap and I do all the work myself. But if you were to bring it to a shop, you'd get destroyed.
Yeah.
That kind of goes with a lot of different cars, but Hondas and Acuras, I would say, would be the best way to start getting into the car industry. But it all depends on what your what your budget is, and also what are your goals.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are either given a car or they have a car in the family that becomes theirs.
Yeah.
Like, I get messages like, hey, I got a 2009 Corolla, what should my first mod be?
What do I do?
And people get kind of pissed off when I'm like, don't
Nothing.
bother.
don't
First
mod
mod,
it.
save your
Save
money.
your money and then look for another car and
Yeah.
have the Corolla as a daily driver and then buy a project car.
And honestly,
but
that's
people don't want to
the
hear
best way.
that. They never want to hear that.
No.
They
That's
want
the
to
best way to do
coils,
it, like-
wheels, exhaust, all the normal stuff.
So I said, okay, you can buy it from thehuntquarters.com. But yeah, I mean, you never convince someone to not do that.
I feel like location is something a lot of people don't think about, like you
For
said.
sure.
They'll be like, oh,
We
I want
talked
this
about
car.
this in the last one where the one kid asked the question. He's like, "Why'd you guys go with Subarus even though like in New York there's literally Subarus everywhere?" And
It's like,
basically,
it's
why
not,
did you get that?
It's,
Like,
it's not the reason why we went
Yeah.
with them. It's because we like Subarus.
yeah, I guess there's like different.
What got you into
What,
Subarus?
cults
I guess
for
would be
that?
I guess.
The way that I explained it in the last video is like ever since I was a kid, I can't remember what video game it was, but it was one of the first rally games that came out for Xbox,
Like Colin McRae
Xbox
or
One,
something like that?
Something like that. And the way that started was would just use that same, like my exact car. I used it over and over and over again for just.
Hey, no way.
Tripping them.
But I would use my exact car for all the races and stuff, and I kind of just fell in love with it like that. And it's kind of weird that it's not even set up for rally at this point, but yeah, that's basically where I found my.
Was it anything particular about it, like, or is it just like?
I don't know,
just
just
like
the
this
look
car?
of it. Do you know who designed that car? Like the look
I saw
of
it, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know who it was,
He's-
but what else did he design?
He designed the McLaren F1.
What?
Yes.
Same guy.
Same guy.
Designed that
car.
Volvo.
Yeah.
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 How do you
Why
like
isn't the
that?
seat in the middle then?
Exactly.
Because he wasn't balling like that.
Yeah.
What I think for me, it's almost kind of like a chain effect, right? So I met Jordan, and he kind of started telling me more about like the tuner culture. Because growing up, my dad had a Mustang. I'm only thinking about American Muscle, and then I meet Jordan, learn about the tuner culture, and then I meet Adam. Adam already had his STI, so it's like I ride in a Subaru that's quick, and I'm like, oh, this sounds amazing. He gets his, I'm like, now I need one.
He was
And it's
actually
like-
going to get his before mine.
Yeah, I was looking for him before
Yeah.
Jordan bought his.
Yeah.
And for me, like, obviously, him growing up, his dream was the Blaubai. And I wasn't, it's not just because I met him that I'm like, oh, I gotta get a Blaubai too.
Sure about that?
Just, yeah. Actually, no, that's why I'm explaining it. It's like, I kind of go through and I look at them, and Hawkeyes are cool, but they're more expensive, they're more rare. So I can't get that, I can't afford it. Bug Eyes, I'm starting to like them more now, but when I first was searching, I just didn't like it too roundy looking for me. I don't know, I wasn't about it. But Blob Eyes, nice in the middle, kind of, you know, they just got that look. They're cute.
Oh wow.
Cute little car.
Okay, that's great.
Oh, how could
VW
you,
Beetle.
Yeah.
No, that's more like the Bug Eye.
how could you compare car culture out west compared to here?
Yeah,
Crap.
I mean, out here it's definitely
Minimized.
more the American muscle for sure,
Yeah.
but just, I mean, I think it kind of just it's because in California or out west, like the weather is so good all the time, so you can always have your car nice and looking nice.
Yeah.
Whereas here, I mean, you know, 3 of these cars here should be out on the road, and
Yes.
they're in here in storage. So
Yes.
just like naturally, there's not as many crazy cars on the road here. Plus, you have all the elements like salt and stuff that just destroy nice cars. So in New York, it's hard to find a nice car that's
Yeah.
not ruined. In California, used cars are a lot more expensive in California because they last longer on the road and they usually have higher mileage, but there's no rust at all.
Yeah.
So I would say overall it's probably just because of the location and climate or whatever. But here there still is like that classic muscle car, but that's like exclusively what it is around here, it seems
Yeah.
like.
It's like that, and you'd be surprised. Like the exotic, like number count
Yeah,
for
those
there
are-
is pretty damn high. Yeah, like I'm always blown away by the cabin.
They're really
about
kind
how
of
many
hidden
Lambos
too.
and
Sometimes
yeah.
they'll show up, yeah.
Yeah.
What was that Porsche you said you saw in that one neighborhood?
Oh, well, that was a legit race car.
Yeah.
And it had the livery of, what is it, Golf? Like
Oh, that
Golf
one?
gas
Yeah, blue
station
and-
or
like
whatever
blue
it's
and
called.
orange.
Yeah. And it was
Kind of like that
legit.
Ford GT and the.
It was on a trailer though, so it's definitely not street legal. But yeah, I mean, there's like
I used to
hidden,
own one of those.
there's hidden
Yeah.
cars everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing around here is like everyone keeps to themselves. I feel like when I went down
Oh,
south,
yeah.
oh my god, everyone
Oh,
was
yeah.
like asking. Like I had muscle guys so interested in my car. You know, what
Which
I mean? They're
never
like-
happens here.
Up
Right.
here, everyone's
Right.
mindset is
Yeah,
on whatever
it's
they
just,
have.
everyone was interested. They all wanted to ask questions. Whereas here, they all keep to their own little circles. They, don't want to invite or add anyone or whatever. Like, I don't know. Everyone's very to themselves.
Yeah.
I've noticed that.
Or
Like,
if
even if you
you
try and
have-
go up and talk to someone about their car, they'll just answer your question and they won't
Yeah, that's
branch off. They'll just be
Yeah.
like yes or no. Like it's got this, it's got that. You're like, oh, okay, cool, sweet.
Yeah.
See you later.
Yeah,
I think,
we definitely like saw that, especially when we went to import
Oh
Alliance in
yeah,
Atlanta.
we had so
Yeah.
many people just talking
Oh,
to
yeah.
us.
Kentucky, Atlanta, everyone out there was just intrigued. And
Yeah.
even at the gas station, people I've never.
Oh, yeah.
I've had 1 or 2 people ask me about my car and gas, but there, like, I had some old lady ask me. She told me she had one. You know what I mean? How
She had a 240.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she said she has
It's a
red as
businesswoman's
well.
car.
So I mean, we probably talked about 15 minutes,
Dang.
and she's probably like 70. But she knew about it.
Did she
like,
have an RB swap?
She was like, RB, me too.
No, that's the only problem.
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
She's like, this motor looks a little different than mine. But
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's fun.
I think one thing that really kind of differentiates, going back to like the culture differences of East Coast, West Coast, like you said the first time we met you, that you don't see people out here with body kits as much. Like that's, I
wide
think,
bodies are huge out
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about maybe just people, they have their summer car, they have it how they like it, they just bring it up
Well, I
in the
guess you
summer
can
and put it
fully
away.
invest in your all year round car.
Yeah.
As opposed to
Or
having two
people don't
cars
think
to
about that.
maintain or.
And then you're wasting money on another car that's just rotting.
Sitting half the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just real quick, and do you cut this or you don't cut it?
We're uncut.
We're live.
I mean,
We're back in. Okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
Thank you for having me.
Thank
on
you
the show.
for Evan being on our little podcast.
He came out here just
as
for
always.
this.
Yeah.
Just for
Just for the podcast.
have a good
Hey,
trip
maybe
back,
one
man.
day.
Yeah, maybe.
So, do you guys have a schedule for this thing, or is it just seat of your pants whenever you want
It's
to do it?
ASAP.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
We'll be up tonight.
Get on a schedule.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
Friday is a podcast or
Right.
whatever. I think that's something that
stay
I've
away from
learned is it's very important to like have that consistency because people are like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna go whatever. Do
Yeah,
something.
I'm gonna watch
I'm
it.
gonna
Let
watch
yourself-
it.
I know
do
this is
something.
happening.
Yeah.
Let me do that. Yeah.
That's what I want to do with live streams, like on
Yes.
YouTube, like once a week.
Yep.
You know, like even if
We're
I
using
get
Wi-Fi.
10 people watching me.
Yeah.
You guys honestly should all figure out how to split it and make that happen. That's
The thing is, like
key.
summertime, we can have the doors open and such, so I mean that will help with service. But like, it's just the metal roof is the problem.
yeah.
That
I
is
would
the problem.
being on social media, that's your career.
Right.
You gotta have
Gotta be able to
so,
post.
I know. Yeah.
All right.
all right.
Well,
you all
thank you guys
enjoyed.
for watching.
Everyone's minds coming together here. I think we talked about a lot of good things.
Yeah. So thank you to you guys.
Thank
Obviously,
you
you're
so
here all
much
the
for
time.
being here.
Thanks for your guests.
Oh,
And,
well, much. I
he's getting back to work.
Overcooked that one a bit there.
Yeah.
I was gonna be sly with that.
All right. We will. We'll see you guys.
Cool. We'll see you next time.
Later.
Peace.
See you.
Peace.
All right.